this is an Akashic meditation where we start looking at the equinox. Now, the equinox is quite interesting because it happens twice a year. You hear about the equinox and you hear about the solstice. Now, the equinox, what it is that the sun tends to be directly above the equator, making the day and night quite equal. The other thing that happens in the September equinox, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere, is we're welcoming in autumn or fall, for those of you that are in the US or Canada. And equinoxes are quite incredible in the sense that we start looking at the season, and we're all quite cyclical beings as well. If you look at Ayurvedic medicine, it's all connected to nature, and it really starts to help us to start connecting to nature and working with our environment. And what happens when we get to fall, because of the balance of day and night, we start to balance out ourselves. And we talk about, balance for me means integration. Because when we're going through the ups and downs of life, we're really actually expanding, because even though we always look to bring in balance, balance is once we've gone through a high or a low, we integrate the work, and we never stay in balance for too long, even though we try and get to balance all the time. But it is kind of like cyclical, and we learn our lessons, and it kind of like tends to be kind of like a experience or a do, learn, we heal from it, and then we teach or we expand, and then we move into another cycle of learning as we continue. Now, the equinox gives us an opportunity to really to let go, to honor the balance of light and dark, and to really kind of like let go of what's no longer serving us. If you think about it, the trees are starting to shed their leaves. They're really starting to transform, letting go of what no longer serves us in order to step into the time of rest, which is winter, where we go into hibernation. And what a better way of going to sleep with having nothing really playing in the back of your mind, but it's really a time to let go. It's also a time to be grateful and to honor the hard work or the fruits of our labor that happen throughout the summer, where we're in more expansive state. So it's a great time to really give thanks. And a lot of the times you'll see in Canada and in the US, we end up looking at Thanksgiving time, seems to be in and around this time. But we also celebrate giving thanks as a pagan festival, where we start to honor the fruits that summer has provided, and we start to share in this prosperity at the same time as well. So we shift our focus very much from a space of lack to a space of gratitude and prosperity as well. We also, at these times of these cyclical changes, we start to look at nature and really start to understand her wisdom, or look forward to what she has to say and to demonstrate as well. I did a lot of work with First Nations and Six Nations in Canada, and it is very much a honoring of the season. And it's we start looking at, like, if there's ever a question, they're always told, go sit in nature, she'll give you the answers. And that's also a great time, especially when these cycles are changing. It's also a time of the year where we start looking at our next cycle. Now, October in numerology tends to be an amazing month of new beginnings. And usually they say what happens in October tends to reflect into your next year. So it's almost kind of like what happens in October, you can actually plan. So if you wanted something, if you're planning on creating something for the next year, make sure you put parts of it into October. So if you're wanting to travel, do a little wee trip in October. Make sure you pay all your bills kind of like upfront, so that there's not a lot of money leaving in October, so that next year, that tends to come in. And that's very much a numerological kind of like approach to the month of October as well. I like to reflect a lot on the past journey of where we've come in the last year, what we've created, what happened for us. A lot of the times we start thinking about things happening to us, and I invite you to start looking, okay, all those things that happened to us, how did they really happen for us, and how is it brought to you to where you are now? And once we've reflected, what has, what we've experienced, what we want to let go, it's time then to think about what is it that we want to bring in, especially since October is just around the corner. So that's a lot of talking from me. Let's jump into the meditation and let's see if the records, well, can help us to kind of like shed what we're not wanting to hold on to anymore. And let's call forward the opportunities for us for next year. So take some time in thinking of like, okay, what do you want to create? And it's no longer about, we're always on purpose. It's more about, are we living to our fullest potential? So it's looking into, okay, let's step into our fullest potential in whatever it is that we do next year. So yeah, let's jump in. I'm going to ask you to make yourselves comfortable and close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths. And we're going to use our breath throughout this meditation as a cleansing and clearing tool. Exhaling what no longer serves. Inhaling light. Releasing the tension, the stress, the anxiety that we've experienced throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the season, throughout the year. Breathing in light into your bones and your joints. Our bones and our joints represent the structures of life, the foundation. And joints represent agility and flexibility. And as we're moving into a time of change, let's release all the resistance that we have to changing. Breathing in light into our nervous system, bringing in calm. Releasing the tension, the stress, the anxiety, all that no longer serves. Let's breathe in light into our selves. Releasing any disharmony, any dis-ease, and any discomfort we might be feeling in our body. Every single cell filled with light. Allowing the light to move through our DNA, our RNA. And let's amplify this light, allowing it continuing to shed all that no longer serves as we expand this light into our auric field. Clearing any static, distortion, and interference from our etheric, our energetic bodies. Dissolving all emotions that are not ours. releasing any thought forms that are not ours, that we've maybe picked up from the collective. And let's align all of our bodies with our higher self and our I am presence. Continuing to breathe deeply and completely throughout the rest of this meditation, this journey. Using our breath to clear, to cleanse, to release, and to let go. Bringing in focus to the soles of your feet. Imagining the energy centers in the soles of your feet starting to open up. And we start to feel the exchange of energy between us and Mother Earth. We start to connect to the crystalline grid at the center of the Earth. This is the ascended grid of planet Earth. We are crystalline beings. Let's call this energy forward, allowing it to connect to the soles of our feet. We start to feel the vibrational frequency of an ascended Mother Earth to move through our cells as it moves its way up our legs, connecting into our root chakra, clearing this chakra on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions, preparing it to let go, to shed, to release, starting to dissolve any blocks and any limitation. Allowing to the grid to move up into your sacral area, clearing this chakra on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions. Activating this chakra to let go, to release, to dissolve any blocks and any limitations around manifesting, around change, around creating. Continuing to allow the grid to move up into the solar plexus, clearing this chakra on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions. Releasing all energy that is not ours. Activating the center with confidence, with enforcing our will to change, to action into place, the change we wish to see. And allow this crystalline grid to continue to move up and anchor into the heart space, clearing this chakra on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions. Feeling completely grounded and connected, we allow this diamond white crystalline energy to move through every single cell within our bodies. Allowing this energy to replace, replenish any nutrients that we are deficient in, any elements, absorbing any frequencies that we need. Feeling completely grounded. Let's connect. Connecting to the golden grid of the central sun. This is the grid of Christ consciousness, the grid of unconditional love, the grid of compassion, and the grid of ascension. Allowing this grid to move through the layers, connecting to our crown, opening up our crown, dissolving any blocks and any limitations on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions, strengthening the connection between you, your higher self, your I am presence, your guides, your angels, your own Akashic Records, Creator. Bringing the grid down to the center of your mind, clearing this energy center on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions. Activating foresight, expanding your intuition, and allowing this grid to continue to move down into your avenues of self-expression, clearing this chakra on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions. Activating your avenues of self-expression so that you are heard, so that you are seen. And allow this grid to continue to move down into your heart space, activating unconditional love, compassion, and expansion. Allowing both grids to interchange, interlace, allowing all cells to absorb the energy. Our body is of the earth, our soul is of the stars. Energies meet in the center, which is the heart space. And breathe in to the heart, connecting to a place of unconditional love and without expectation, feeling completely grounded, centered, and connected. Let's call forward 4 angels from 4 directions. Starting with the east, we connect to Archangel Raphael, the healer, the magician. And he moves towards us and he offers us a green flame. This flame is going to support our healing. Accept this flame with gratitude and place it into your heart space or into your bodies, allowing this flame to move through all aspects of you, allowing for the healing that needs to take place today. And from the south, we start to feel the energy of Archangel Michael, the protector. It also helps to activate our will to move forward and choose the change, embrace the changes that are needed to step into this next cycle of life. We accept his blue flame with gratitude and place it into our bodies, allowing this flame to support the release, the removal, the discharge, the shedding, the shredding, the letting go of anything that no longer serves us. Helping us to activate our will. And from the west, we connect to Archangel Gabriel, and he brings with him a diamond white flame. And he offers us this flame, and we accept this flame with gratitude and place it into our bodies, allowing this flame to move through us, with us, releasing any emotional attachments that keep us stuck. But this flame also allows us to see the opportunities, the opportunity to create the life that we envision for ourselves. And from the north, we connect to Archangel Uriel. Uriel brings with him a ruby red flame, and he offers it to us, and we accept it with gratitude and place it into our bodies. This flame, not only does it nurture us, but it works with our bloodlines, helping us to release deep-seated patterns and anything else that we carry from our ancestors that no longer supports our highest potential, helping to release the traumas that have been handed down, the limitations, outdated beliefs. This flame facilitates the shift, the change on a physical form. 4 angels, 4 flames, 4 directions. Feeling completely grounded, centered, connected, and protected. We focus down into our heart from a place of love, from a place without expectation. We connect with our Akashic Records, trusting that the information we receive is what we're meant to receive. Repeat the mantra in your mind or out loud. Keepers of the Akashic Records, please open and allow me access to my records. My name is, state your full name, and I ask that you create a safe and sacred space for my highest good, my healing, helping me to step into my highest potential. The records are now open. The records are now open. The records are now open. And as we step into our records, we step in to a beautiful garden. And on the edge, we start to see that there are plenty of trees. And as we continue to move, enjoying the warmth of the sun on our face, we start to walk into the forest. And we start to note that the wind is blowing through the trees and the leaves are starting to fall. The richness of the yellows, the oranges, the reds, all around us. And we start to note that with every leaf that falls, it represents an aspect of us that we need to release, that we need to surrender, that we need to let go. And as the wind blows through the trees, it starts to move through us, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And as it moves through us, we start to see the release of all the limitations that we carry physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Releasing all blame, all shame, all judgment. And as the wind blows through us and moves these frequencies through us, we start to see more leaves start to fall from the trees because this forest represents us. We start to see that the limiting beliefs, the blocks, the limitations, slowly shedding. And as we continue to work further into the forest, seeing the sun shining through the tops of the trees, we start to release and we start to let go of all the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas. We start to let go of all the belief systems around being unworthy. We start to let go of all the systems that help us to believe that we are unworthy, that we are incapable. We start to feel the fear of change. The resistance to change starts to dissolve. And as we continue to walk, as we continue to release, we ask to let go of the cords, the tethers, the attachments, the links, the ties to the people, the places, and the circumstances that no longer support us stepping into our highest potential, into the change we want to be, being dissolved, transformed. We start to see the cords, the tethers, the attachments, the links and ties to the limitations we carry start to change, to release, to dissolve, to transform. We start to see the contracts, the deals, the agreements, the vows, the oaths, the pledges, the alliances, the allegiances to the groups, the parties, the people that no longer support this change, to close, to seal, to archive, without judgment, but with love and compassion and gratitude. And as we continue walking in this beautiful forest, we start to see the templates, the projections of others start to release. We start to let go. And as the wind continues to blow throughout the forest and through us on all layers, all levels, and all dimensions, we allow it to release for us. The need to limit ourselves based on other people's belief systems, based on society's belief systems, and based on any cultural limitations or religious limitations. We start to feel the religious programming start to dissipate. We start to see any educational programs that keep us small start to dissipate as the wind continues to move through us, allowing the leaves to continue to fall, to release. You know that these leaves will be transformed, all about the cycles of life. And as we continue to walk, we start to let go of any conditions and any limitations that we've inherited or that we've chosen from our bloodlines. Releasing, removing, dissolving. And we continue to walk, admiring the beautiful forest, feeling the ground beneath our feet. You can smell the moisture in the air, knowing that as one season ends, we start to prepare for the next one. And we start to give gratitude for all that we've experienced, the good, the bad, the ugly, because it brings us to where we are now, to this moment, to this place. No longer the same person we were when we started this journey. And up ahead, we start to see an opening. Back to another opening, another place. We start to feel the sun on our face as it opens up. We stand in the middle of the field, knowing that this is the new journey. When we sit in the middle of the field, we lie back, feeling the ground underneath us, feeling the energy of Mother Earth continue to nurture us. We spread out our arms in the space of receiving. We call forward the light codes, the energy frequencies, towards us. The light codes of ascension, the light codes of unconditional love. We call forward the light codes of abundance, of worthiness, of oneness, of wholeness, and of grace and compassion. Allowing all these frequencies to move through our systems, integrating into our chakras, our meridians, integrating into our DNA, replacing the programs that we've released with unconditional love, radical self-acceptance, compassion, strength, confidence, to step forward and choose, create, command the next cycle of our lives, creating in this moment the next adventure we choose to embark on. And for 1 minute, let's sit in the vibrational frequency of creation. What do you want your next year to look like? What do you want to bring into next year? How do you want to feel? What do you want to see and hear? What do you already know? What does it look like to live your life every day to your fullest potential? And now let's call forward the people, the places, and the opportunities to support this change. We call forward the people, the places, and the opportunities to create a life that is abundant in health, wealth, happiness, joy, and love. And we let go of this vision, releasing it to the universe, knowing that it is already here and that it is created. Just like when you order food at a restaurant, you know that it will arrive. It's trusting that you are an amazing manifester, that you are the creator of your life. And we let this go to co-create with the universe. Now that we sent off the list of instructions, we change our actions based on the opportunities that are presented to us. Because we ask for that which we've just envisioned or something better to be created. And we know that if we can envision it, we can create it. And as we sit up, feeling like an entirely new person, we start to make our way out of the Akashic Records, giving thanks and gratitude to all those that supported us during this journey, making our way to the here and now, into your bodies, remembering that we're still grounded, still connected, still centered. The records are now closed, the records are now closed, the records are now closed. Take a deep breath and exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.